after 50,000 years ago, you see this burst of creativity. There's a big difference in behavior. The form is fixed, and culture takes off.
Interesting. So they didn't use stone.
No, they didn't use stone. They used the bone.
The bone.
Yeah.
Because it's more efficient. The arrows are finer. And
Yeah.
Gordon. Yeah, you have more control. Great. So you just want to make it very round and very smooth.
Now we're getting somewhere. When they left Africa 50,000 years ago, the ancestors of these New Age people had state-of-the-art hunting technology and a brand new language to communicate ideas.
Now, how far back can I pull it? Further? Pulling to the right.
But they weren't philosophers, they were hunters. Next, the Bushman showed me how these new skills were used. Like for instance...
Did you hear that, ladies and gentlemen? They weren't philosophers, they were hunters. This is why the black people and the white people need to work together. For the simple fact that white people could not create themselves. It took the black people to create the white people. That's why white people don't need to be racist towards the blacks. And to the black people watching this, we need the white people because they're building space shuttles and space travel, and they got plans they can teleport atoms at this moment, and if they keep it up pretty soon, we'll be able to teleport solid objects instead of just atoms at this stage of our existence. And we're going to need the white people in order to escape who will help us build the space age, the Star Trek Voyagers and the Star Trek Enterprises that's going to take us from this planet when the sun supernovas and take us to another planet. And the Bible in Revelations even talks about this. John said, behold, there's a new heaven and a new earth, for the old heaven and the old earth passed away. So that means there's going to be a stage of our existence that we're going to be traveling out of space, and that we're going to be looking for other planets for the species mankind to live and coexist on. And so we need each other. The white guys needed us to create them, and the black guys needed the white guys to be created in order to save them from the supernova that's about to happen in a couple million or billion years from now.
Thick detectives at the scene of a crime, the San Bushmen read clues left in the ground and get inside the mind of their prey. 50,000 years ago, this kind of thinking would have given them an immense advantage over their competitors. Anyone who couldn't think like this. Piers Latranche has worked with the Bushmen for years. He's seen firsthand the best trackers in the world.
If you look on the edge of the track over here, it's got a very, very sharp edge. And that's basically their main thing, working so you can hear the age of the track. And then they'll take another...
How precise can they be? Within hours?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
These are the prints of a wildebeest. Now we are on its trail. A lion will wander across hoof prints without a second thought. If it can't see the animal, hear it, or smell it, it simply doesn't exist. It would have been the same for our distant ancestors. But 50,000 years ago, these trackers learned to see into the past and into the future. The hoof print told them that an animal had walked this way in the past, and if they followed its tracks, in the future they'd fill their bellies. According to Merritt Rulin, hunting was only the beginning of the advances made possible by language.
Language is basically responsible for all human behavior, whatever it is, and these new hunting methods and the exquisite hunting methods that these people have clearly reflects advanced language. The advanced language is what allows people to do all of this extraordinarily complicated and complex, kinds of activities. Its language lets us do an enormous number of different things, and hunting is just one of them.
Back on the trail, the tracks lead us to the prey.
If you look over there, he's lying under the tree there. Okay, yeah. You see it's especially what he's doing, he's checking to see where the wind is blowing. The wind is right. Okay.
So what are they doing now?
So this is what they'll be the typical stalking pose, actually, sort of start dropping down, quite low their profile on the ground.
The Bushmen are keeping a low profile, but unfortunately they never stood a chance. The two great white hangers-on yakking behind them blew it.
So they figure that it's not even worth.
No. Once you've been busted, you've been busted.
Yeah.
It's not going to be worth it. Everyone's a surprise has gone.
Yeah.
Is there a parallel between what I'm watching and the skills our ancestors developed 50,000 years ago? I asked Piers.
Oh, absolutely. If you take it just on a basis of natural selection in its purest form, you look at every animal around, it's going to be the survival of the fittest. To me, you can use the same analogy for mankind. If you didn't have the brains, sorry, you got left behind.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how we're going to end racism. We have to educate the world about the black people in order to we have to educate the world about the black people in order to stomp out racism. We need to show that program, because that program also shows the origin of all men, the Asians, the white guys, the Native Americans, the Aztec Indians. It shows that PBS episode shows how all races of men came to here doing the DNA testing. Of course, the Jews didn't want to be part of it, but I'm sorry to say this, Jews, you can't even fight DNA testing. There's no getting around it. The dark-skinned Hebrews are the original Hebrews, and they're descendants of Abraham, and Abraham is a descendant of Noah, and Noah is a descendant of Adam. As a matter of fact, I think Noah is Adam's great-great-grandson, or great-grandson, as a matter of fact. But anyway, the more educated we are, the more we use science and biology, then the more that society will hate black people. And don't forget, science is the study of chain events that take place after God says, does, or thinks something into existence. And biology is the study of the extraterrestrial that we identify as God, because the extraterrestrial we identify of God, who is God, is life. We, instead of playing Roots every February for Black History Month, we need to be playing this PBS program that I just showed y'all every Black History Month in order to eliminate racism in the USA and throughout the world. The more educated we are, the less and less, I predict the less and less people will hate the black people. And don't forget, not just all black lives matter, not just all human lives matter, but all Homo sapien superior and all Homo sapien inferior lives matter, period. Smith, out.